Due Process, winner of 25 regional Emmy Awards, including the 2014 New York Emmys for our coverage of criminal justice and current affairs. Due Process is a presentation of Rutgers School of Law, Newark, and the Edward J. Blaustein School of Planning and Public Policy. Studio facilities provided by the Rutgers ITV Studio, Division of Continuing Studies.
He is hopelessly and incurably insane, a condition caused by the drug marijuana to which he was addicted.
The old reefer madness image is laughable now.
Play faster. Faster.
And pot as criminal may be starting to seem passé.
For the first time, we here are legal in the state of Colorado.
Colorado was the first state to legalize, Washington the second. But are the other 48 likely to follow? Polls show attitudes changing across the country, with growing numbers saying yes to legal marijuana. A social reform whose time has come, or a misguided move.
I'm freaking out. What is this?
Rethinking recreational marijuana up next on Due Process.
Major funding for Due Process provided by the Fund for New Jersey, supporting informed citizens for an effective democracy. Additional funding from the New Jersey State Bar Foundation.
It's not that pot hasn't always had its proponents, but it's never come this close to mainstream acceptance. Some polls now show that nearly 60% of Americans favor legalization. So Colorado and Washington may not be the anomalies they may have seemed 2 years ago. I'm Raymond Brown.
And I'm Sandra King, and we're not just talking medical marijuana, but straight-out recreational weed, and the kind of full decriminalization that could realize the high hopes of those 400,000 45 years ago at the world's most famous concert. It's no longer a hippie thing, marijuana! Or confined to the young, or even to those who smoke it. Now the calls to legalize marijuana are coming from such establishment sources as the New York Times editorial board and CNN.
Marijuana is considered a drug of high abuse, the highest abuse. Dependence rates are around 9% as compared to alcohol, which is closer to 15%, heroin 23, 25%, cocaine 20%.
They're saying that marijuana got a bad rap early on.
What do you want?
Bring me some reefers.
That led to scientifically flawed beliefs about pot.
He is hopelessly and incurably insane, a condition caused by the drug marijuana to which he was addicted.
And its legal designation as a Schedule I drug, like heroin.
I regard alcohol as being a much more dangerous drug than marijuana ever could be.
It wasn't until the 60s, when the youth culture actively embraced marijuana, that there even was much pushback. But even as weed was finding mainstream acceptance, and not only among the young, the enforcement of harsh marijuana laws was being stepped up as part of the massive war on drugs.
March 1973, Richard Nixon authorized the formation of a new law enforcement superagency to fight drugs, the Drug Enforcement Administration.
In the words of the New York Times editorial board, it's been more than 40 years since Congress passed the current ban on marijuana, inflicting great harm on society just to prohibit a substance far less dangerous than alcohol. The federal government declared the Times unequivocally should repeal the ban on marijuana